No worries, like you can ask anytime, so that's fine. So just to summary about what we have discussed yesterday, we had like a general overview of the framework structure, and also how to conduct the maturity assessment and the gap assessment, and how these like assessments are important to understand the current environment and situation about the data management practices within any organization. So in today, like we will discuss 3 domains: data governance domain, data quality domain, and document and content management domain. So if we look to the data governance domain, which is the first one, we will notice that this domain includes the largest number of specification, which is 28 specification. It mainly like involve defining the data management office rules, responsibilities, also defining the strategies, like compliance frameworks, and also other document that will support in the governance part. And this is the hierarchy of this data governance domain and how it's divided. Okay, so let's go to the PDF to check the specification in general, because I have some comments I would like to discuss with you. So yes, this is my screen is visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So this is the data governance domain from the framework. You can see here, like they are starting listing the specification along with the priorities. Like for here, they like ask you to define the strategy, and they mention the minimum requirements that should be included within the strategy. The most important thing here when defining the data management and personal data protection strategy is to align it with the client enterprise strategy, the big strategy. To be also to align the plans or the activities or initiatives with the main goal and objectives of the enterprise strategy. Okay, and like mostly like the strategy is standalone document. We cannot like combine it with other document. Also, they require here another specification which require to develop guiding principles. Like guiding principles is mostly like the requirement for the data protection, you know, by design, the ethical data use, some requirements like on how to handle the data. This guiding principles can be added to the strategy. No need to have it in separate document. Also, it can be a standalone document, that's fine. And this is how NDMO said, like either you can merge it with the strategy or you can have it as a standalone document. So this is like a preferences on how the client prefer, if he wants to have like many documents or he wants to minimize the document as much as possible. So this will be based on the like desire. Then for the plan, the data management and document and personal data protection plan. So here, like we will define also the 3 years implementation roadmap. Okay, so based on the 15 domains, like small initiatives will be divided. Some timeline will be also divided and will be set for each initiative. The expected date for closing these initiatives, and it will be distributed through the 3 years. For this specification, strategy approval and socialization, they mean here it's to approve the strategy, what has been like developed earlier. Not only approve it, but also communicated with the relevant departments. And as mentioned here, like it should be also like approved by the data management committee. which is the same scenario for any other like strategy or document. Okay, moving to this specification, data management and personal data protection policy and guideline gap analysis. This is, the same, will be like similar to the same gap analysis we have done. We have like presented yesterday, this one, in which you will track the gaps, the actions item, who's responsible for closing that, like the identified gaps and etc. Yeah, okay. For this one, data management and personal data protection policy and guidelines. I want you, like, if you can please read this and let me know what can be done to close this specification. What do you think? Please, like, take 1 minute to read this and let me know what can be done to, to say, okay, you as like data management office, you are compliant for this specification. Okay, we will wait for 1 minute.
Does it mean that the entity or organization must develop a document related to personal data protection, which is aligned with this standard?
So you mean like only develop one document?
No. There may be multiple documents to like who comply with all the specifications that are in this standard.
Exactly. So this will involve like developing any document relating to this framework. It could be policy, it could be process, it could be framework, any document. It's not specific document that its name like data management and personal data protection policy and guidelines. No, it's not only one document. No, it's multiple documents from multiple domains, from multiple priorities. Why I'm saying this? Because like when we had a project with one of the client, when we check the documentation that they have developed for this specification, we come to know like they have or developed one single document, its name policy and guidelines, which is like doesn't actually close this specification, because the most important like information to it, it's either redundant or like there is no use from it. That's why this specification would remain like maybe partially compliant until the client like develop the required documentation from other domains also. So it's clear, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Right. So moving to also to the training and awareness. In this specification, it's required to develop training and awareness for the ones involved within for the entity or the ones involved in the data management initiatives and activities. Okay. So moving to the data management organization, data management office organization, or let's say hierarchy. The data management office like should be established like as a separate department within the organization. I know like maybe you will be asked by the client, should we have a separate data management office, or it can be like under one of the departments such as cybersecurity. So as a consultation company, we always push to have it as separate like department, which has like direct communication with or reporting to the CEO. This is always the best practice and scenario. It will be up to the client on how they want to manage it, if they want to put it under the cybersecurity or compliance or whatever they have. It will be their call on this. But we will recommend always and push to have it as a separate. Of course, when we have like this data management office, we will have with it like the data management committee, and also the chief data officer will be responsible for this data management office. Again, you will be also asked about these rules, because here NDMO requires to have data governance officer, open data and information officer, compliance officer, person data protection officer, business executive, and IT business steward. You will be asked, like, should we hire all of these and assign rules to all of these, or what the scenario? Because, you know, like for most of the entities, it will be difficult for the hiring process and this stuff. So the best scenario here also is like the existence employees, if they have the required or the minimum knowledge about each rule, that means it's fine to assign these rules to the existence employees. The most important thing is to just like document this decision, and everyone in the entity, in the organization, should be aware of their role and responsibility. The most important here rules is business data executives and business data stewards. These two rules are like, it's not the case I will hire new employees. No, for these two, it's normally like employees from each department. They will be nominated to be the point of contact with the data management office. Business data executives are usually the head of each department. Okay, so the head of each department, they will be named as business data executives, and their responsibilities can be documented, and they can be like communicated as the executives as a data executive. So the data stewards are the employees within each department. They are not the head, no, they are employees under the management of the head. Okay, why we should like nominate these two, or let's say assign these two from each department? These two like rules will facilitate the job for the data management office, because as we said yesterday, data management activities are cross-functional like activities. It's not only related to the data management office alone. No, they will be they should communicate with each department. That's why nominating from each department will be easy, and this nomination should be documented. Like they should say Department A, this employee will be the data stewards, and the head of Department A is the data executive. Okay? And this will be like done for each department. So this is clear, right? These two rules.
So can you please repeat the role
Yes.
of data steward, business data steward?
Business data steward, yes. The role of business data steward is, you know, like, you know, the daily data management activities that should be like done by each department. This one, he will be responsible for it. For example, from HR department, there will be two roles related to the data. The head of the HR will be the executive, and he will be like responsible for approving anything that the data stewards will do. The data stewards will be like a member from the HR department. What he will do, like he will, for example, inventory the data. He will create the the process inventory. He will, for example, track the quality of the data within the department, and anything that he will do under this umbrella or under this data management activities, he will report it to the executive, which is to the HR department, for the approval. Then the HR department will report to the data management office any issues or any result like happen within the HR department. Okay, and we will, inshallah, and in next domains, we will display and we will like mention what are the responsibilities of the data stewards. But in general, like just to summarize, data stewards will be like employees from each department that will be the point, let's say, point of contact and any activities regarding data management to facilitate the processes and the daily tasks.
Okay, got it.
Okay, IT steward, data stewards, from its name, like IT, they will be responsible for the technical part. Any issue with the technical data management solutions and system. And also, no need to like to hire new IT data stewards if the already existing employees within the department are capable of managing the system and this stuff, they will be like enough. Same thing for the legal advisor. Any issue regarding legally, like they can consult with the legal department from the from the entity itself. Okay. So moving to compliance management. For this specification, the entity should develop compliance management framework that include, let's say, the list of the standards, regulation regarding the data management, what should be keep tracking the compliance status about, just to ensure that any regulation that under their responsibility should be tracked. And the compliance also reports are ready in case the regulatory authority come and ask for that report. And of course, creating the framework alone, it's not enough. The entity should also start tracking the compliance status and identify any gaps, any issue. And based on that, they will have the compliance audit result. Based on the result about the identified gaps, they will have this action plan in which they will track it with all departments to close the identified gaps. Same report can be used for the compliance monitoring to show that, okay, we are keeping an eye on this compliance framework and everything is documented and done. Okay, for the periodic plan review, okay, this is for, it will also, it will be part of the governance, because any document that will be developed should be reviewed. And it will be good, like, if the entity also like develop the plan for the review and define the timeline, when should be this document reviewed, the second review when, third one. And also the most important thing is to document these reviews in the table of, like, let's say, table of change or something within each, it could be like within each document. Also, it can be tracked like separately. For the communication, they mean here like to establish the communication channel. Okay, for the data management activities, decisions, for example, the documentation of the data management, how they will like distribute it between employees. So this will be a document like communication plan that include the possible channel within the organization. And you will be able to know what's the channels, like, of course, after the business understanding phase, in which you will understand what the client use to communicate the daily decisions and these stuff. It could be GRC tool, it could be emails, it could be like meetings, screen saver. It could be like through telephone, whatever like a channel they have, it will be like listed. Okay, for the KPIs. For the KPIs, same thing. You need also to understand how the entity is measuring their KPIs. If they do not have any system or any method for measuring the KPIs, so that means like we will use the Excel sheet as the simplest way to measure that. And as we have done with one of the like client, we listed the KPIs in Excel sheet with the required formula on just like they will only need to put the numbers and it will be calculated automatically. From other domains, you will notice that some KPIs they cannot be measured unless they have some tools. Okay? But we will come to it, inshallah, in that domains. But for the data governance, let's say domain, the required KPIs can be measured by the data management office. No need for any like tool or system.
Yes, so I have just one question here for the KPIs.
Yes.
If we don't need, the client don't want to use the Excel sheet, what's the other way to manage this? What's the best practice here?
Like there are some GRC tool that can like measure the KPIs. But if they do not have this like GRC tool or any other system, that means they should like, I believe like they should go manually and think and like plan for it for the future to automate this. The result of the KPIs like can be, for example, if they have Tableau or Power BI, the business intelligence tool, they can put the result there and extract it as dashboard and this stuff. But eventually, like they should have it like calculated like outside that or separately. And
Yeah,
most
fine.
of the like our client is so far that I come to see that are you using like the simple way, which is the Excel sheet. Okay, for the continuous improvement. Okay, for the continuous improvement, that means, you know, for the like the identified gaps, right? We identify the gaps and when make the like action plan, and based on the action plan, we should close that gaps. And this would be part of the continuous improvement. The more that gaps will be closed, the more improvement will be achieved. Yes, for the data governance approval register, will be like a normal register. Again, it could be like through the Excel sheet, or it could be like depending on how they are using. If they have, again, a GRC tool, it will be good to be automated as a register within the GRC tool. In this register, it will be simple, only like documenting the approval and decisions for the chief data officer. For example, like he can document that they cannot, for example, hire new employees for the data management office, but they will nominate the existing employee and they will assign the role and responsibilities to them so they can handle the data management activities. to be like a simple register. Same thing for the issue tracking register. Any issues that identified regarding the data management should be documented and tracked. And in the data quality domain, we will like explain what issues can be identified regarding the data management. For the version control, see, we recommend like to have it in the document and content management domain. But let me like explain what they mean by version control. They mean, you know, when we create and develop the documentation, like each time we develop the document, we will give it a version number, like version 1. And second time we make any changes, we will name it version 1.2. This is important. And this is also part of the periodic review. Remember when you say like the document should be reviewed and the changes should be documented, also this is part of it. Any changes to the document should be documented. Why? To know what are the last updates on this version, or am I using the correct version or not? This will support in this regard. Okay, so by that we complete the data governance domain. Like, do you have any question? What do you think about this domain? Like, I believe most of these governance like activities will be or can be like done by developing like simple documentation and simple register. But let me know your idea. Like, do you have any question? Anything that's not clear, not logic?
Sorry, Soham. Actually, I joined late.
Yes.
But I'm confused with the so many roles. Like,
Yes.
why there are so many roles? Like, it's mandatory to have each role in the organization. Just go back to
Yeah.
that. I think it's
Yes, here, right?
yes, it's 4. Yeah. So, is it
Exactly.
mandatory to have all the roles, or we
Yes,
can,
exactly.
you
No,
know? Okay.
the most important thing, Sadia, is if you will not have it separately, like if you don't want to have a data governance officer, open data and information officer, that means you need to document this decision. And okay, you will say we will not have this it's difficult to have, for example, this separate rules and employees, but the responsibilities regarding the data governance officers, open data and information access officer, will be held by, for example, the data management officer.
Okay.
Suppose that you have only one employee within the data management office.
Okay, you assign the
or two.
different roles. Okay.
Yes, exactly. But the most important than that, the existence employee should be aware of this.
So there will be no any conflict of interest if we assign multiple roles to the same employee.
Mostly no, because they will be like within the data management office. But for example, the legal, the most important thing that they are capable. It's not the case you just assign the responsibility to someone and he doesn't know. For example, the legal advisor, should be like from the legal department. Mostly
So you
it will
have
not
to,
be like,
you know, during the audit, you have to provide the evidence and then to show them they are competent and they have the required
yes,
skills as well. Okay.
exactly.
So, okay, perfect. Clear. I'll try to go through the other domains as well, and then I'll ask the questions if I'll have.
Yes, sure, anytime.
Okay, thank you, Soha.
Sure. So if no question, we can move to the second domain, which is data quality.
Yes, Suha, just one question related to the issue tracker. Okay. Sometimes
Yeah.
the issue coming from many departments, not one. Okay. So should all make the changes of the tracker, or there is just one person responsible to check and update the tracker issue?
Yes, like employees from different departments exactly will report the issues to the data management office directly. They might like report it to their executive or to their head of the department. Then the head of the department will report that to the data management office. At the end, the data management office will be responsible for like documenting and tracking these issues. And they will be responsible for updating the tracker, not employees.
Okay, for the updating, they should update it each month, each week, or is there a time?
As is, I believe as is to them, but for sure, I think it will be at the time they receive the issue, they will just document it to avoid any adding the issues or anything.
Yes, yes.
But
for that fine, but when they follow up and close it, so they have to check regularly on how long. يعني the best
okay, so
each week maybe, or depend
this
on
depends
the issue.
on them.
Depend on
It depends on the data management office, how long he wants. Like, for example, he will say, okay, we will receive the issues during the week, okay, during the days. And at the start of each month, we would review the tracker, see how much like issues or how many issues have been identified, what are the issues that didn't be solved, what we can do to improve the quality and this stuff. So this can be defined by them.
Yeah, fine. But I just asked that because sometimes the client asked for a recommendation or something like that. So I wanted to know the best practice here. So yeah, fine.
So it will like depend on their on how they want, but mostly like to be monthly, just to be easy for to track
Yeah,
the
I think
status of each
that would be better.
issue.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. Great. So moving to that data quality domain. Data quality domain also one of the 15 domain that NDMO like framework include. Under this domain, there are 13 specifications. Okay. So this domain focus mainly on improving the data quality within the organization and to ensure that the data fit its purpose. Also to ensure that the data quality dimensions are met. So what are the data quality dimensions? We have here completeness, uniqueness, timelines, validity, accuracy, and consistency. So in order to say, okay, this data with like high quality data, that means these dimensions should be fulfilled. We mean by completeness that mean the required data should be available for the use. And we mean uniqueness that the data records are unique and not duplicate. For the timelines, that means the data should be up to date and available when needed. For the validity, that means that the data records we have should conform to the defined format, type, and range. So for the data validity, that means suppose that you have a field and you should enter in that a date. So the rule that I will add to that field, anyone will add the date should enter the day, then month, then year. If anyone like miss the arrangement of these, for example, start with the month, then the date, that means there is issue with the type format that we have like identified and put. Accuracy, that means the data should be correct and represent the real-like world. Consistency, that means the data should be consistent and the same for the same like data among multiple system or application. When I say, for example, Suha Ahmed, that means in other like system also should be the same, not for example, Suha.a something. No, like we should refer to the same entity with the same like format and data, so we can keep the consistency. So is it clear the dimension? Because it's important for the data quality and also important for defining the rules. So I hope inshallah it's clear.
Yes, it's clear.
Oh, thanks, Sadiqa. Okay. This is like a sample about the data quality rules. See here in this, the first column, the data quality dimension. For each dimension, as we just explained, we will have defined rules. By that, we will ensure the quality. For example, for the completeness, we said that for the completeness, that means the required data should be available for the use, right? So one of the rules could be like all fields should be populated and there should be like no nil or missing values. That means each field should be filled. In case one of the field like are not filled, that means there is an issue here. There is a data quality issue under the completeness dimension. Same thing for other also dimensions. For each dimension, we will have a rule. Based on these rules, we will start the assessment. We will say, okay, does this rule, for example, fulfilled or not? If not, that means that we have issues. Like mostly, this is done automatically through the tools. It will be like difficult to have it manually, but it can be done like on a certain range or certain like scope. We can do the quality issues like manually, but mostly this is an automated process. Right. So here are some of the data quality issues that may encounter anyone. Data inconsistency, that means this is like this is one of the dimension. Remember, like when we say data should be consistent, one of the issues is the data inconsistency. That means that when multiple systems store data for the same entity differently, this is will like cause confusion. Like, okay, who's this person? Like, is it the same person or this is different one? Data breach, also one of the issues, and we can consider it as incident, which is the unauthorized access to the sensitive data, which like usually lead to exposure of sensitive data and may cause legal issues. For the data loss, that means data could be lost from hardware due to the hardware failure, human errors, or disaster. Data corruption, that means like this is, you know, the errors introduced from or by like the data processing. When we do data processing and we do like entering the data, sometimes we the system fail or something. And also for example, like when let's say we are when we working with Excel sheet or Word document and trying to enter the data and stuff, but like accidentally we don't save the document and this stuff, we can have, and when you open that document again, we might have a corrupted data, it's not saved probably, and etc. inaccurate data entry, this is I think more common when they enter and fill the data within fields. They might like inaccurately adding the data. Okay, and here unavailability of data, that means there will be like an issue when accessing the data due to any reason. It could be technical issues, it could be system downtime, it could be disaster. Improper data sharing, that means that could be done like either accidentally or deliberately, like when we share the sensitive data to unauthorized person. This is also considered as issue and incident. Of course, there are many or other issues, but this is like, let's say, the more common issues. Okay, so data quality process. Let me go to this one. I'll explain the process, okay, in general, then we will move to the specification. I think this will be more logic to you to understand the specification. Most of the specification regarding the data quality is regarding on how to control the quality and how to identify the quality. And based on that, we have created this process. Okay, so like data quality issues can be found in different areas by different employees, right? One of the areas that can be identified as a data quality issue is the SDLC, which is the software development lifecycle. So in case there is any issue with this SDLC, that means the one that he will like identify, mostly the developers, technical and business stewards, the ones that related to the, let's say to the software development lifecycle. And issues, it could be identified during any phase of the SDLC, during the design phase, the implementation phase, or even after the implementation. That's why the developers should keep an eye on the system, like in different phases, to identify any issues. Okay. Suppose that quality issue or that issue is not under the SDLC. That means it has been identified either by conducting, remember the data quality rules checklist we have developed, this one. We have defined some rules here, right? So the stewards, or let's say the system owner, should conduct the quality against that rules, and they may identify issues, okay, against defined data quality rules. That means they also should document these issues and report it. Also, data users can identify issues not related to the SDLC because they don't have the technical, let's say, knowledge, and it's not related to the data quality rules because they don't have the rules. They are just normal user. Maybe someone like were using one of the system and experience any data corruption or data is not accurate. That means he, as a data user, should report this issue. Either way, any issues identified either during the SDLC or during this data quality rules or any normal like issues, all of these should be communicated to the data management office. The data management office should review this issue and verify. Maybe it's not an issue. Maybe it can be fixed like without raising it an issue. Like based on their decision, either it will be approved. If it's approved, that means the relevant data stewards. Remember when we say data stewards should be nominated from each department to facilitate the job? This is one of their responsibility, to investigate the issues within their department. So data stewards will like investigate the issue, will do you have any question?
No, sorry.
Okay. So no issue, no worries. So the data steward will identify the issues, will create remediation plan, when what are the possible solutions to close these issues. They will implement the plan based on SLA. Okay, defined in SLA. That means the SLA should define the timeline also, when this issue should be closed, by whom, and in case of any any delay, to whom should escalate. Of course, the data management office will be responsible for following up and ensuring all of these are probably done. Then after the investigation and ensuring that okay, it's successfully closed, the issue will be closed and documented in the tracker. Okay, we can summarize here the issues into three main categories. One, either the issues that identified from the SDLC, or the issues identified because of conducting data quality rules checkpoints, or the normal user identify issues during his normal operation and daily operation. No matter the issues from where identified, they should be communicated to the data management office. So it is clear?
Yes.
Okay, so quickly we will go to the data quality specification. So in this specification, they require two prioritized data quality. Okay, and the most or the best way to prioritize the data quality is, to understand the data, understand the process, what are the important process to you, and based on that, you will know which data quality or which, let's say, data you should put more focus on it. For the initial data quality assessment, this will be done from its name. Initial data quality assessment will be done one time. Okay, depending on the data management office in which scope they want to conduct the quality assessment on, they will define it. For example, they will say we want to conduct quality assessment on our ERP system. Because it will be difficult to conduct quality assessment on all systems in all departments. They should define the scope. Once they define the scope, they should define the rules. Okay, ERP system, we have these processes, we have this data, and we have these rules. For example, all fields should be mandatory field, or the email addresses entered in the system should be at Gmail, for example, not at Hotmail, and this stuff. And based on the defined rules, they will conduct the assessment. Any issues will be identified, if any of the rules are not met, that means there is an issue. They will identify it, then make a plan for it, how to close that a certain issue to increase the quality. Okay, data quality rules development. Yes, this is the same checklist we just explained. We will mention all the dimension And for each dimension, we will mention some rules for it. And this checklist will be based for like each time they should like conduct the quality assessment from time to time to ensure that the data with high quality. And this is also, this is good like to mention, this checklist should be developed for each system by each system owner. It's not the case it will be only one like checklist. No, multiple checklists can be developed. For the data quality monitoring, yes, this will be also the same. The same checklist that developed earlier should be also executed. The assessment should be done, and the monitoring also should be done for the identified issues. Based on the identified issues, resolution and resolution plan should be developed on how to solve this issue, along with the SLA. SLA, that means when this issue should be fixed, by whom, and in case of any delays, to whom should be escalated. As I told you like earlier, the data quality assessment like need some tools to like to be easy and to ensure that the quality with the data with high quality. The manual effort, okay, can be done to set the, let's say, the general roadmap. But eventually they will need some tools to automate this process. Yes, for the data quality trends and data quality issue resolution, these two are KPIs. And as I told you, like for the KPIs, some will need some for the tool implementation, and others it can be like measured and manually. For example, this one. Number of data quality issues reported based on the implemented data quality rules. This can be done like manually by checking the issues tracker, and they will identify how many data quality issues reported. Yes, here for the data quality checkpoint, they mean the quality, the data quality issues within the SDLC. Okay. Data quality support. Yes, so this is also will be done through the data catalog tool. This specification should be done through a tool, cannot be done like manually. And even for this data quality metadata, for these two, it will be explained when we discuss the data catalog and metadata. But for now, like these two will not be covered manually. Okay, so this is the end of the data quality domain. Do you have any question? Is it clear, or do you think you get confused? حديقة، نوف، شهانة، فاطمة.
Yes, Doha. I just confused about one point. You said it's okay if there is multiple lists for data quality.
Yes.
So which one will be the reference for the data issue or the quality issue?
I meant by multiple checklist the rules. The rules that should be done for this one.
Yeah, multiple one, but on the same. Okay, I got it. Because I thought there is multiple files for the check point. So
the
all
the checkpoint.
will be one document, and the rule will be multiple, right?
Yes, one document, but you know, like, because each system will be held by different employees or different departments, let's say, that means we might have multiple checkpoints, multiple checklists. But at the end, the same content here, it will be the same. But the different is the rule. For example, ERP system could have different rules than, let's say, than GRC, for example. But let's say the same content here, the same headings here will be the same.
Okay.
You get it?
I think not clear 100%.
Okay. So like, okay, in each like department, or let's say in each organization, they will have multiple systems, right?
Yes.
These multiple systems will serve different purposes. For each purpose, they will be able to define their rules. Like, okay, for system A, they will say, okay, these rules should be, I need to be ensure that these rules are fulfilled in the system A. For example, all fields should be mandatory filled.
Okay.
While in other system,
yes,
no need for all.
Who are responsible about that?
The system owner, the one who is responsible for conducting the quality.
So each system owner have to fulfill this checkpoint list.
Have to first develop this rules, then execute the assessment based on the defined rules.
So each system owner will be responsible about checking the quality on his system, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Now got it.
And again, it will be depend on the entity. Maybe they will say, okay, IT, they are the responsible for conducting this. So they will be alone responsible for checking the quality. But at the end, for each system, they should define like some rules, some criteria to ensure that the quality within that is fulfilled.
Okay, so here for this situation, what's the best practice? Each system owner will be responsible about quality, or there is one person responsible about quality on the whole departments?
Again, this depends on what the organization doing.
Yeah, I know that.
Are they putting all the system under IT, for example? Are they asking the IT team?
So maybe it will be better if each department all the system under one person responsibility, because I think it will be conflict if there is under one department there is many system and many people responsible about quality on the same department. So maybe
for that,
it will be better if they have one person responsible about the whole system on the department.
like, to be honest, I cannot give you like an answer for this. I think this will be decided after conducting discussion with the client and understand how they are managing the system, how they are like doing the quality. And based on this discussion, we can conclude to the best like method on how to conduct the quality rules assessment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
I believe this is the best.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the explanation.
Sure. Okay. So I know it's already like 11:04. Just quickly, I'll introduce the document and content management domain. And tomorrow, inshallah, we will go through that specification. Okay, so the document and content management domain, it's like including or having 12 specification. And this like mainly controlling to control the data within, like, let's say a document, hardware, whatever the type of that data, as long it's outside the relation database, should be controlled. And we can say the unstructured data. So what is document? Based on DAMA, the non-profit global association entity, they said like a document is to content what a bucket is to water. Like they mean the document is the container, okay, and the content is, let's say, whatever inside this container. That means the document is not only like a book or a flash or a USB, it's anything that include the data. That means documents can be in paper format or digital format. Okay, and you can find the content in files, document, website, USB, flash, any, like, let's say, container or a document include the data, we will name it as document, no matter its type. This is important, like, to be honest, to understand this. And the most important here in the document and content management domain is most of the, or some of the specification would require a tool. And this tool name is document management system. There is a certain tool for the documents, specifically for the documents. For those who work with SharePoint, like SharePoint is one example or good example about the document management system. Because see here in the document or in the SharePoint, like you can have multiple folders in different formats, image, video, MP3, like folders and this stuff. And from here, you can control these unstructured data, unlike, you know, the structured data that can be managed through the database management system. So I hope it's clear. I know, like, we explained it in hurry, like, but tomorrow, inshallah, we will go through it in detail when explaining the specification. So, okay, I believe we can stop here. Inshallah, tomorrow we will continue. Do you have any questions, anything that's not clear? Anything do you want me to focus on tomorrow?
Thank you, Soha. I think that's clear for now.
Appreciate it. Okay. Thank you all. Best of luck. Let me know if you have any question. We can discuss tomorrow, inshallah. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Soha.
Sure.
Thank you.